Oh, mon ami, bonjour, and welcome to France, and welcome back to the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes, and sometimes it happens in France. Now, sometimes it happens in actual France, real France, where French people live, and sometimes it happens here in the World Showcase at Epcot. Now, this morning I was in Future World over here saying my goodbyes to Epcot, my favorite theme park at Walt Disney World, but I couldn't leave without walking around the World Showcase, all the countries: Mexico, Norway, China, Germany, Italy, the United States of America, never been there, and Japan, Morocco, and of course, France. We also have England, and there's Canada over there, but nobody's worried about them right now. Right now, what I'm worried about is France. Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? Now, if you've been watching my vlogs, you might remember that I was at Disneyland Paris, and we were doing Sometimes vlogs in the city of France. We visited the Louvre, we saw the Mona Lisa, we walked around Champs-Élysées, we saw all this crazy French stuff. I even ate snails. Wow. Escargot. I put it in my mouth, for real. Snails, chewed them, swallowed them. They were fine actually while I was filming the vlog. People have asked me about this, so I'll elaborate a little bit more. They were fine while I was filming the vlog. The second that I turned off the camera though, somebody that was sitting next to me that you don't see in the video was like, they have kind of an earthy texture to them. And as soon as they said that, I just couldn't anymore. They were so chewy. Anyways, look at this. This pavilion in France, a World Showcase set up by all these different countries. It's like a little miniature World's Fair. You can learn all about different cultures. And there's Morocco over there and Japan. They have all kinds of shows and wonderful things going on. And this is the French one, so you can learn about France. It's set up to look like a Parisian neighborhood, a typical Parisian neighborhood with the Eiffel Tower in the back. But before we get over there, let's look over here. Now that I've been to actual Paris, to real France, which I didn't know that much about before I went there, I thought, let me come back and check out Epcot's French Pavilion, because now I'm a little more interested in it. And before, I never really cared all that much about this pavilion. Look at this right here. Now, in Paris, the main river that flows through the town is called the Seine. And along the side, it really did look like this. There were these stone walls and boats, and there were people fishing down there and doing all this weird stuff. There were actually a lot of cars parked along it, because the thing in real life is obviously wider. This is a miniature version, a sort of model version. But this water looks just like the water in the river in France. So this water really does look insane. Get it? Because it's in the Seine? It's been a long time building up to that one. You better like it. Okay. Anyway, also along the river, I kept seeing this along every French street. These things. Look at these green metal boxes. I never even noticed these before. Any other time I came to Epcot, I never noticed these green boxes. Never, 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 never. And then when I went to France, I noticed that there were all these crazy stalls selling books and trinkets and everyday things. Modern magazines, cigarettes, booze sometimes, all along the rivers in France, and the bridges and the roads. And they would set up these crazy stalls. They lock, excuse me, they lock them up at night, they padlock them, and then they wait and come back the next day and unlock it and actually have their stores out. There's like a little mall, like, oh, handbags for sale right here in my river box thing. Like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I own a river box. It's no big deal. It's pretty crazy. So this is actually very detailed and very accurate. It's pretty cool because you can actually kind of thumb through the paintings over here. Like, they added a whole level of detail that I'm not sure, I know I didn't appreciate for sure until I went to real France, but it's pretty cool. So right here, obviously, they have this set up like an artist is painting along the river, which I actually did see a lot of artists painting along the river, especially near the Eiffel Tower. Over here, you can see the artist's tools, and here's somebody's easel over here. And they have that right next to one of those areas where you can get your portrait painted or your caricature made. And look at this over here. This is pretty crazy. I was waiting for this to flip the camera around. Look at these guys. Now over here, this little waiter guy has been climbing up these chairs and balancing one by one by one by one. And the chef below is trying to give him another chair. Uh-oh. Look at this. The finale. Now let me remind you, not only is that really high, it's also really windy out here. We better move back. It's all tense and quiet. I thought maybe later. Oh. Whoa! Can you believe that? Now he's gonna dismantle the chairs and get down. I watched him do this about 3 times. Isn't that freaking crazy? It's super windy out here. It's windy enough to blow your hat off. And if it's windy enough to blow a hat off, I'm assuming it's actually windy enough to blow that guy over and off his chair. Look at this great photo opportunity. Can we take a picture, Rick? Okay, let's take a picture. We'll have the camera out too. I'm ready. Right now. Okay, ready? We're getting a fun one. A fun pic with Rick. Taking our picture in front of the Eiffel Tower, and then we can scan the magic band and get it right on the magic band so we don't have to go to a photo thing or anything. I'm really excited about this. Thank you very much, Rick. Sorry. We have to expose the magic here.
Thank you.
Bam! And then it goes right on your magic band, right to your account, and you're able to look it up on the internet. One of the things I love the most about Disney World, magic band. Look at this. I never appreciated France. Now, of all the countries in the World Showcase, whenever I ask people, what's your favorite country? A ton of people say, France! France is my favorite country. I love that country. And it's always, always super crowded and thick with people. Like, no kidding, over there in Mexico where they actually have a boat ride and Mexican stuff, and it's in a giant pyramid, there was nobody. And right now, look at this, packed full of people. So I don't know what it is about France that draws people. Maybe it's the 1/10th scale Eiffel Tower, but it's always, always packed. Over here, Sleeping Beauty, Aurora is over here doing a meet and greet. That's pretty cool. See her over there? She's so cute and pretty, and everything's so great here, but I really don't understand why this is the most popular pavilion. But let's see how it stacks up against real Paris. Firstly, the Eiffel Tower. Now, it is true that in France, everywhere I went in Paris, you can pretty much see the Eiffel Tower. It's so freaking huge. They say this is 1/10th the size. I don't think so. I think it's like 1/50 millionth the size. That thing was so massive. And this thing, you can barely see once you get up to these buildings. But I don't know anything about math, science, scales, or rulers, and the closer I get, the more it disappears. That's really how it was though. Like everywhere you went, you can see that thing sticking up, especially at night when it's all lit up. Whoop, you can see it. Here we have all kinds of French shops, French restaurants. I think maybe that's why it's popular. French food is very popular. When I went to France, I had to eat all gluten-free, so I couldn't really experience French food the way it's meant to be experienced, mostly because it's a lot of crepes and baguettes and bread and stuff like that. But there is a French restaurant here. I forget what this one's called. Probably Le Restaurant de France. And then over here is another fancy restaurant called Monsieur Paul's. So those are 2 reasons I know that it's very popular. People want to get the French food. Are you a foodie? What is it about French food? Like, what is it about French food that makes everybody so excited? And of course, it's super, super windy out here. But the main attraction in the France Pavilion is over here. It's a big theater right here, the Palais du Cinéma, the Palace of Cinema, I think. What's Palais mean? Is that for palace? Palais, palace? Seems like it, logical. I don't know. My French is terrible and awful. When I went to France, I was pretty much crippled by my own mouth because I could not speak any French. And the worst part is my dad, Canadian, grew up in Canada where they have to write French stuff on everything. He speaks no French. Nobody speaks any French. But Impressions of France right here, which is a crazy, I think, 18-minute movie where they play really slow classical music. And this guy starts talking and they show, like, the camera starts, watch, I'll show you. The camera starts moving like this. Welcome to a country of limited. Welcome to a country of limitless beauty, artisanship, purple flowers, and plenty of weird American tourists doing vlogs. It's pretty much like that, only more with mountains and like peasants and kings and chapels. And California raisins, few a number in there probably. No, I'm just kidding. It's an 18-minute movie. kind of like soaring over California, but it'll be combined with like being on the ground, not just soaring along. You'll be in a boat all of a sudden and you'll be all that stuff, but you're sitting down, and instead of being a circle vision thing, like China has a circle vision theater, Canada has a circle vision theater where it's a 360-degree screen. You stand up and you watch the movie all around and get really, really disoriented. Let me show you France while I'm talking. It's more of 180, maybe a little bit less. It's like a half a circle vision. And then you kind of sit in there, and the screen wraps around from your far left to your far right, so you have this really, really wide angle view of France. And it's really, really cool. It's a cool movie, but because of classical music, because of the narration, which is very, very slow and very romantic, it's almost impossible to stay awake during, because you walk a lot at the World Showcase. It's 1.2 miles all the way around, so you're constantly walking at Epcot. Then you go in here, and they warn you before the show starts. They go, bonjour, welcome, we talk about my country, it's France. And then they say, no sleeping, like 3 or 4 times. No sleeping, no food, no drink, and no sleeping. There will be no sleeping in the France movie show. I am really tired. My mouth is becoming French too. Look at over here. This didn't make sense. The arcade. Where's the video games? There's no games in this arcade until I went to France and learned that an arcade is pretty much just a covered hallway or a covered alleyway between buildings. Super boring. Like basically an alley with a roof or a walkway with a roof. Some of the arcades had cool, fun stuff like authentic Parisian cafes like Starbucks and McDonald's and stuff. And some of them were more like this, with fancy French shops like Germain Paris, which sells smells. And over here, Givenchy. Look at this. Ooh. Hello, ladies. Look at all this French stuff. Look at it. It's so fancy. It's so fancy. And they're looking at me like, look at this idiot American, because the cast members who work in all of these stores in the World Showcase are from the international program, which means they're here for, I think, 9 months to a year. It's either 9 months or 18 months or some weird amount of months, but about a year that they come from their home countries. They get to hang out at Walt Disney World and work here and get the full Disney training and the full experience of working at Walt Disney World before piecing out back to their home country. So the World Showcase France Pavilion is stocked full of real French people who are talking to the tourists, mostly in this shop, about fancy perfume. I can't stand a lot of perfume, like one person wearing perfume, hey, we're good. Oh, look at this, I didn't even notice the fiend's upstairs. I'll go back there for a second, I'll brave it. But when there's multiple amounts of perfumes, and there's womanity and alien eat the toilet. Alien eat the toilet. Alien eat the toilet. When there's multiple types of perfume, I start to not be able to breathe. And the fancier it is, the more nervous I get, and the less I can breathe. And the more I have to vlog, the more I just don't want to stand in there. Anyway, besides these two perfume shops with the arcade between them, and sortie, I know means exit. Sortie vers la quoi, I don't know what that means, but that is exit. Sortie is exit. I learned that in French. So I learned one thing. That's what I learned in French. Anyway, okay, yeah, people are still lining up for the food in here, so we won't go in there, but oh, look, les vins de France. Vins, wine. I know that one, V-I-N, wine. So here we go, a wine shop in France. Ooh, it's so fancy. It's so French. Is this French? Pink grapefruit flavored wine. It is a product of France. That is not what I think of when I think of fancy French wine. I don't think of pink grapefruit. But the more I think of girls I know, the more I feel like that makes sense. That if they came to me like, I want some fancy French wine, give me the fancy French wine. Like, what do you want? This Pinot no Chardonnay Bourgeois Champagne Dene with the red palette of your wine's white flavor. They're like, no, give me the grapefruit one. It looks fruity and tasty. That seems realistic. I know nothing about wine. I just met a guy who owns a winery in Southern California. So I'm actually kind of hoping at some point to go do a vlog there and learn about my ignorance. Because if you have to be ignorant, you might as well learn about it and learn to laugh at your own peasant nobility, right? So in here, a very fabulous wine cellar. And by the way, when I was in France, I saw little kids drinking wine. It was crazy. Every restaurant, people were like drinking wine. Whenever they'd ask me what I wanted to eat in France, I'd have salmon or chicken or whatever it was, and the filet mignon or whatever I was eating, they'd say, what do you want to drink? And I would say Coke, and they would look at me with horror on their face, like, what? And every time I'd go in the restaurant and just say that I needed something gluten-free, and they'd be like, but you can't have it with this sauce. You know that you can't have it with the sauce, monsieur, right? You're not going to freak out and punch us? And I was like, no, I understand. I have food sensitivities, and I need to eat, weirdly. But they would be all upset, like, for me, not like angry at me. I always thought that the whole French waiter thing was they'd be really, why am I wearing these indoors? They'd be really mad at you because you didn't order correctly. It's not that they're mad at you, it's like they feel sorry for you, like, oh my gosh, he just ordered Coca-Cola with that filet mignon instead of the whatever kind of wine. Like, this guy's like, he doesn't get it. He's gonna have a bad meal. Like, they're basically like, he's pizza when he should have French fried, he's gonna have a bad time. And then they're just upset about it. Look at this, it's Remy in here. And all kinds of French stuff like wooden spoons. When I was a little kid, we used to get hit with the wooden spoons. Ever since then, I have a disdain for wooden spoons. It's just I just don't like them. They make me uncomfortable. But holding this one, I have to say, makes me feel super powerful. Like, these people have no idea the kind of terror and power that I hold in my hand when I hold a wooden spoon. The way a butt can sting with these bad boys. Oh look, it says France on it though. Isn't that sweet? I should buy one for my mom. Like, remember the good old times, Mom, when I would get in trouble? And I'm just kidding, but they were nice to me. But I'm just saying, every once in a while, they would get threatened, mostly a threat. Want me to get the wooden spoon? No. Back in the day. Ooh, fancy oven mitts, fancy. What is this? Montard. Ooh, mustard with cognac. Because if you have to have mustard, why not get drunk on your food while you're doing it? That makes perfect sense. Also, there seems to be some kind of tin full of French stuff and hand lotion and more smelly stuff over here. Oh, look, it's a tester. What's this right here? Orangerie du Roi. Oh boy, Orangerie du Roi. Why did I spray that? Why? Oh, it's so strong. It smells so strong. Look at this. Bistro Chez Remy. That is from the restaurant in Disneyland Paris. Well, actually, at the Walt Disney Studios Paris, which is the second park over there. If you've never seen that before, go back on the channel. You'll see my vlogs from Disneyland Paris and from its sister park. It's a very, very small sister park. I'm trapped in here by a pack full of people over there, which has that restaurant right there. So I sprayed that on my neck. I was trying to spray it past my neck. You know how you're supposed to like spray a little past yourself and snip it? And I got it like right on my neck. So I am now like breathing in my own fumes. Oh boy, this is quite a cock up over here. And I've just got it right in my thing. What's this over here? Ooh, Dijon mustard. Provincial Dijon mustard. Because you don't want to get Dijon mustard made in a factory. You want to get a Dijon mustard made in a barn, if you can help it at all. Also green olives. What is that? This is green. Excuse me, ma'am, I think the mustard has turned. And then there's herbs of Provence. Okay, I think we can escape now. I'm gonna imitate the France video for you. Welcome to France, a land of recipes. And Julia Child? Was she French? Just go with it. And napkin holders. We have artisan de glaces, ice cream and sorbet, and casserole. And this place we already see. And the flowers. I was trying to think after being in France, it's a little easier to breathe out here. Smells like mother's love. Norman Bates' mother's love. You know, at the end of the movie where she's dead. Anyway, They have an ice cream shop here with French sorbet, and they have all this French bread and all kinds of wonderful things. Lots of French bread, lots of gluten in here. I was trying to think, after being in France last time, this is the exit, by the way, to the theater. The exit to the France movie exits you into a gift shop here, where they have a seating area for this restaurant, where they have a lot of baked goods, mostly gluten things that would poison me to death. We'll go take a little closer look. And, ooh, French berets. I was trying to think, what could I learn about France by being here if I didn't know anything about France? And I really thought, oh, see, we're not going to get close. We're not going to get too close of a look, but there are a lot of, oh wait, can we see here? There are baked goods for sale. What are these called? Macaroons, whatever. I don't know. I don't know, the macaroon, I don't know. Most of them, some of these I know can be gluten-free. Most of them aren't, but look at all this baked, look at this French bread. Ew. There's Mom, there's writing on my bread. Somebody wrote on it. Can I get a new bread? Somebody wrote France on my bread. Okay, so they have espresso and Coca-Cola and baguettes and cupcakes and all kinds of bread stuff. And I think if I go in there, not only will I not be able to breathe, but I'll also be like, you know, gluten sick, and we don't want that. So anyway, I was trying to think, what can I learn about France if I had never been to real France and I had only been to this shop? And pretty much all of my stereotypes we confirmed. Berets, Eiffel Tower statues, handbags, perfume. Yeah, pretty much every French stereotype I can think of. The only one that they pop is the modern stereotype of, oh, look at that, isn't that cute? Look at that. You can buy a painting of, hey, I've been there. Isn't that a cool thought? There's jewelry. Look at this. Disco Eiffel Tower. Ain't no party like a France party, because a France party don't stop. Right, Lemire? Right. Anyway, you can buy cute little paintings just like you can on the side of the road by the Eiffel Tower in France. So pretty much all of my stereotypes about France are confirmed in here. You've got colorful Eiffel Towers, you got bling bling Eiffel Towers, mostly Eiffel Towers, berets, snow globes, and wonderful things. These are all pretty much the same souvenirs that you buy at Disneyland Paris. They just say Epcot Paris instead of Disneyland Paris. Like, you can buy these exact same things. I'm tripping out now. But pretty much all your stereotypes are confirmed. Whoa, look at that. I finally know what to get my grandma for her birthday next year. This one's fancy. I'm pretty sure you could actually use this in place of an engagement ring if you want to. So, also, this cat, you guys keep telling me the name of this cat here because we saw her the other day in Magic Kingdom, and I keep forgetting it. Maybe it says on the tag. Oh, authentic original. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Oh, Marie. Her name is Marie. Look at this. I actually bought one of these in Paris, France, in the real France. I gave one to Allie. I gave one to my mom. What the heck? I could have just bought them here and saved myself the trouble. Boo. Anyway, Marie over here. I saw her all over Disneyland Paris. Oh, the one stereotype. I'm sorry, my mind is all over the place. I have to leave soon, and I'm really enjoying this. The one stereotype that is totally pop is the modern stereotype of the French coward. Like, before we used to think of the French as brave with Napoleon, and they would fight to the end and all this crazy stuff. They conquered half the world, and the French Foreign Legion over there, because if you can't fight, you go over there and fight with France and all this crazy stuff. And for some reason in the modern age, we got this thing where we like to make fun of the French people and say they're cowards or whatever. But the French are most certainly anything but cowards. And they prove it with their chair climbing sous chef mime guy over there earlier. Pretty crazy. Anyway, fancy food, fancy perfume, lots of bread. Not my baguette. See, I was gonna say not my bag, but I said not my baguette. See what I did there? Pretty clever. Not entirely my baguette. Not my favorite pavilion, but I have to say, by and large, it really does look a lot like real France. So now I get that more. Now I get that people who really do like France, they love to travel, they love to go over there and drink wine. See, drinking wine, eating bread and desserts and pastries and things, all, and being fancy, right? Being fancy. That's the big thing about France. They do everything slowly over there. If you don't have the napkin on your lap, they'll put it on there for you and they'll undo the napkin ever so slightly. They bring the champagne. There's little rituals to everything. if you like that kind of stuff, like you want to go somewhere fancy and really relish the experience and drink wine and have hors d'oeuvres and many courses to your food, I can see why people like France slowly look at the art and the culture, experience the gardens, look at the people walking around in the Moulin Rouge. I get why people are super into the whole French thing and the French Pavilion. Me, I'm a total spaz. I don't drink wine. I am gluten-free, so I can't eat most food. Definitely none baguettes and almost no desserts. So for me, the France Pavilion doesn't have as many charms to offer, except that movie, which I do like, but I do find hard to not fall asleep in. Like right now, when I'm at the end of a trip, I'm very tired. I've been sick and under the weather, mostly sinusy. Like you've heard me sniffing in every vlog. They also do have these. They have these weird stands in France with posters all over them. Although when I was there, they were doing some kind of musical with the music of John Williams, where they had like Indiana Jones posters and stuff everywhere. It definitely wasn't posters for like artists and stuff. Like there was no Paul Gauguin poster over there. Although, you know, he went to like Tahiti or somewhere and was painting islanders, and like he's a very fascinating dude. We don't have time for that. I am going back to France. It took me 20 minutes to get here, but I am going back to France, the real France, in March of 2016. This is the plan, to return to France. I will be going back to Disneyland Paris to film a few things, but I also want to see more of the city. So if you live in or around Paris, you don't mind me sticking a camera in your face while I wander around being a total spaz like this and looking at portraits of everybody's favorite grandma over here. Hi, Graham. She's so beautiful. Then maybe I might have some ideas where we can go, where we can hang out. I also want to pop over, if I'm there long enough. I also really need help driving to the grocery store and stuff and getting gluten-free food. So gluten-free knowledge preferred. I'm also looking for a way over to England. I understand you can take the train and be to London from Paris, from Disneyland, in about 2.5 hours. So I'm really hoping to pop over to London for like 2 days. I only need 1 night in a hotel. I think I can swing it. I want to go and see, man, I really need my sunglasses again. It's really bright out here. I really want to go see the British Museum again, and I just want to do a sometimes vlog in London. We'll just get off the train, we'll do a sometimes vlog at the station, we'll look for Paddington Bear, we won't find him, then we get back on the train and go back to Paris. But pretty much want to do that. So if anybody is in the London, England area and wants to do the same thing, people want to hang out for the vlogs, I can do that. At Disneyland Paris, not so much. I'd be filming or hanging out there, but there are some days I'd like to get out and about. I invited some other people. They weren't able to go, so I would like to meet people from France, the people of France. I would like to meet you. I can't do your accent correctly at all. But I would like to get rid of all of my stereotypes. I'd like to lose my French stereotypes. I want to see what there is to do in Paris for a spaz. I know there's catacombs I haven't seen. I didn't go up in the Eiffel Tower. I'm really honestly probably too scared to do that. I'd like to go back to the Louvre. There's stuff to do in France, so we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be going back to France March 1st, March 2nd, March 3rd, somewhere in there, somewhere in March. I'll have to be back by my birthday on the 25th. So sometime in that time range, I'm going to France. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. For now, though, I need to pack up my bags. Oh, those are fake. Those aren't my bags. Pack up my bags and all my camera equipment and head back home to LA in a little bit. So I'm just going to go over to the Magic Kingdom now, say my goodbyes to that, maybe meet up with a few people, and then tomorrow, pack up my belongings, go home, and sleep well. So anyways, that's about it for the French Pavilion. We got a little lightning whirlwind tour. I can't show you the movie inside because they're really picky about filming it. There's still a million cheerleaders here for this cheerleader conference thing. They've been getting all crazy and screaming. The wind has been terrible. Very difficult to vlog in it earlier. But very cool still to come to Orlando. I'm really happy and blessed and thankful to be able to have come here and hung out with a lot of you in person, and to do the vlogs, and to do the random lands and all the other things. And now I got to get back on a plane and go do a heck of a lot of editing. So before I do that, I have some sneaky fast passes here I'm going to go burn up at the Magic Kingdom. All right, from me, from the World Showcase. Don't forget about LiveFastDiePoor on Spreadshirt.com, LiveFastDiePoor on Instagram, LiveFastDiePoor on Snapchat. Whoa, hear that wind? See what I'm dealing with here, people? It's beautiful, but it's so windy. Camera no like it, no windy. That's not French. From the World Showcase and from the French Pavilion. Au revoir, Pee-wee. Au revoir.